The man was trapped in the swamp, nearly despairing. This single leaf would be his last lifeline. He brushed it gently, then pulled it down slowly, gripping the branch to crawl out bit by bit. It wasn't his first brush with death. Yossi had been lost in the Amazon jungle for 3 weeks, weakened and hallucinating. When he saw dense fire ants crawling on a tree trunk, he found a reason to keep going. A single fire ant had once tormented him, but this time he shook the tree, letting countless ants fall onto his body. Suddenly, the exhausted Yossi perked up like he'd been injected with adrenaline, snapping out of his hallucinations once more. If you're planning an adventure someday, don't miss this movie. Yossi retired from the military in 1980. Young and restless, he refused to follow the ordinary path: school, work, marriage, kids, a life stuck in a rut. Instead, he traveled to South America to explore the world. He wasn't alone in his dreams. When the captain of his ship changed course, Yossi met Marcus, another young backpacker on vacation from his job as a teacher. At a scenic spot, Marcus ran into Kevin, a photographer he'd climbed mountains with. Kevin was a legend among backpackers, having hiked across South America and captured countless stunning photos. The three kindred spirits had endless stories to share. One day, while walking down the street, Yossi was approached by a jungle guide who spoke of the Amazon's mysteries, Toromones, indigenous tribes, and gold flowing in the rivers. Fascinated, Yossi rushed to tell his friends. The next day, they met the guide, Carl. He told Kevin, "If you can snap photos like that, National Geographic will hire you on the spot." With his smooth talk, Carl convinced the three young men to embark on what they thought would be a fantastic jungle adventure. They stocked up on supplies and paid Carl $50 each for his guiding services. "Maps are useless here," Carl said. "Most places are uncharted. Rivers are your best friends. We'll follow them." They flew to Apollo, then set off on foot into the jungle's depths, Earth's last frontier, wild and untamed. On their first night camping, Marcus was attacked by an aggressive goose that flew straight for his face. The next morning, the three friends joked about it as Carl led the way, their curiosity about the unknown world burning bright. The jungle rain came suddenly, but Carl's experience showed he anticipated every step. After the downpour, they had to dry their clothes and shoes over a campfire and make do with a simple meal. They hadn't packed much food. "Tomorrow, we'll eat the real deal," Carl promised. Soon, the three backpackers were struggling to keep up with Carl, who was used to trekking through rivers. Their initial excitement faded, and Marcus grew anxious. They'd lost sight of Carl. Kevin told him to shut up. "We're here for an adventure. If you're that dependent on Carl, you might as well let him hold your hand through the jungle." When Carl finally reunited with them, they reached a small jungle village. They watched the women washing clothes by the river, then decided to rest there for the night. The village was alive with children's laughter, the smell of cooking, and vibrant nightlife. They sampled local specialties, then set off again the next day. In a riverbed, Yossi found real gold, just a little, but proof Carl had been telling the truth. The jungle was full of wonders. A swarm of colorful butterflies fluttered by, and Kevin quickly grabbed his camera. Yossi stood among them, arms outstretched, soaking in the breathtaking sight. "The world is perfectly balanced," Carl said. "Humans are Earth's cancer. We've broken nature's harmony." A monkey swung through the trees, and Carl raised his rifle, shooting it down. "This is the real food I was talking about," he said. Kevin and Yossi dug in, but Marcus refused. He found it disgusting, thinking monkeys were too similar to humans. "Where there are monkeys, there are jaguars," Carl warned. "Jaguars hunt monkeys. To them, we're just big monkeys." That day, Marcus's foot became infected. Carl cleaned the wound by the river, and Yossi and Kevin joined in, offering to share the weight of his backpack. But tensions rose. Marcus was slowing them down. That night, Marcus apologized, admitting his injury would delay their journey. In their tent, Yossi and Kevin heard him crying outside. The next morning, they discussed what to do. His foot couldn't hold out for another 4 days. Carl suggested either waiting for him to heal or returning to the village they'd passed 2 days earlier. Unwilling to abandon the adventure, Yossi and Kevin insisted on carrying Marcus. Kevin had a better idea: build a raft and float downstream to the next town. Carl opposed the plan, but the vote was 3-1. Reluctantly, they set to work felling trees and building the raft. Yossi screamed in pain when a tiny ant bit him. "Fire ants," Carl laughed. The first missionaries tied non-believers to trees and covered them with these ants. After that, everyone converted. With 4 hands working, the raft was ready in no time. But Carl, knowing the river best, demanded they follow his orders without question.
You're the captain. Okay, let's go.
The 4 set sail on the Amazon, marveling at the natural scenery along the banks, excited and joyful until they hit rapids. In the chaos, Carl's commands came too late, sparking a heated argument between him and Kevin. Marcus tried to defend Carl, but Kevin snapped at him. Unable to proceed amid the conflict, they pulled ashore to rest. Insulted by Kevin's doubts about his leadership, Carl stormed into the jungle to hunt.
Did you see Carl on the raft? He was terrified. Had no idea what he was doing. Carl can't swim.
After the break, Carl announced he wouldn't be getting back on the raft. He'd hike to the next stop alone.